Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm actually gonna start up a new monthly project, let's say. It's not really a project, it's just an eyeshadow bank. I've been watching these a lot in the past, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months. Yeah, I think it was like at the end of last year that I really started watching these, and I wanted to jump in on this project, but then kind of everything happened. I had a lot of work and other projects and other videos, and I completely forgot. And 4 days ago, I believe, I was watching like 2 videos that were eyeshadow bank related, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to film this, I'm gonna have to do this. I don't think I'm gonna be as successful as other people because I'm not on a no buy or a low buy, even though I try to not buy too many products. But I just want to see like how I'm gonna fare with this at the end of this year. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and maybe it's gonna be like a interesting take, considering that I'm someone who still enjoys buying quite regularly. I am trying to slow down, but I'm still like not gonna stop buying products. And for that reason, I think it could be interesting to see how I'm gonna try to like balance my spending habits with what I'm actually getting out of my collection and how I'm working with my collection. So we're gonna this eyeshadow bank will start officially from the 1st of March, even though I'm uploading this in April, because it would be too hard to like count down from the beginning of the year what I managed to do. So we're just gonna start, and I'm gonna give you like a first update on my March purchases and pants and stuff like that, and in a month I'm gonna go back and tell you how it changed throughout April. So as I said, we started at, so that's kind of the way it's gonna go. I'm gonna link down the original creator and the rules, even though I might change a couple of them, so you know, just to like make it sense for me, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. Anyways, before we're gonna jump right into this video, in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially, I love panning and all projects, and I love purchasing new products as well and playing with new releases. So we're gonna try to balance those two habits of mine, and maybe this will give me like an idea of what my collection and my makeup journey actually is all about. So at the beginning of March, we started at 0 points, obviously, since I've never done this project before. And we're gonna start with purchases. I bought 2 palettes. Well, I actually bought more, but I don't have that order yet with me. I bought from a style, and I don't know how long it's gonna take to get it to me. I don't even know if it's actually gonna get it to me because I've never tried to shop from my style. So once it's gonna be here, I'm just gonna roll it in for the month that I've actually started using it, if that makes sense. Which kind of doesn't make sense for this entry because both of these palettes I haven't started playing with yet, but with one of them I hope to have fun with in the next couple of days. So one of them is the Diavrune Smitten palette. This is my second palette from Diavrune. I also have the Witch of the Wildflower, and this is how it looks like. It's completely new. I haven't used it. This is my first time that I've opened it. I just got rid of the little foamy protection on the shimmer shades. This gorgeous palette. I don't know how well it's gonna go with my current mood. It's more like Valentine's and winter color story for me, but I'm gonna try to work on this. But anyways, this is a new palette, and it has 12 shades, which means I'm gonna have to count it as 120 points that I will be redacting from my baseline. in case you're not familiar with how the project works, you lose 10 points for every single eyeshadow that you buy. So if you buy a 15 pan palette, you're losing 150 points. If you buy 3 singles, you're losing 30 points. And then for a product that you are gifted but you picked it up yourself, you're losing 5 points per pan. And if you didn't know you're getting the product and you just got it as a gift without your prior knowledge, then you don't lose any points. It's 0. So that's for losing points. And for gaining points, if you know pen left behind a palette, you gain 1 point per each palette. If you hit a pen on an eyeshadow, you get 5 points. If you completely finish an eyeshadow, you get 10 points. If you use an eyeshadow 10 times, you gain 1 point. If you use it 25 times, you get 2 points. If you use it 50 times, you get 3 points. For 75 uses is 4 points, and for 100 uses it's 5 points. And I'm gonna add one more rule. If I'm gonna get rid of any palette, if I'm gonna declutter something, I'm gonna gain 5 points per each shade. Kind of like if something was gifted to me, so the other way around. Because, you know, that's also, I'm also like reducing my collection, and I usually either give it to friend, or if it's really new and unused or like barely touched and there is someone who wants that, I usually like thrift it or something to somebody else. So that would be 5 points for me per each pan, just to like, you know, it just seems logical to me that way. And now for the balances. So we're losing 120 points for the Smitten palette by the Everin, because as you can see it has 12 shades, so 12 times 10 is 120. And then I also bought, and haven't used yet, the Chromebook Volume 2 by DD Signature. This is my first time buying from DD Signature, and this is how the palette looks like. It's mostly shimmer palette with only 3 mattes, and I think the Volume 1, the Chromebook Volume 1 had no mattes. It was just all shimmer palette. So this one has 15 shades, so we're losing 150 points. So we are in the negative 270 points. And then when it comes to gaining points, so for No Pen Left Behind, which is 1 point per palette, No Pen Left Behind the where is it? Oh, here. The Monk palette by Fantasy Cosmetica, because I was reviewing this one, and usually that's the only time where I actually No Pen Left Behind, because otherwise I kind of go through my entire collection and use a shade here or there. But when I'm filming my initial review or for my haul, in my initial review I try to use every single shade once, and then for my monthly haul I try to only haul palettes that have at least 3 uses for each shade. So technically I No Pen Left Behind the palette 3 times at least. And so this is how the Fantasy Cosmetica palette looks like. I have 1 shade in each 1 use in each shade, and a couple of them have 2 uses. So I No Pen Left Behind this once, and we're getting 1 point. Then I also have the Manifestation by V Cosmetics that I've also been trying out, and I was able to use every single shade in my initial review, so that's also 1 point in the No Pen Left Behind. And with that, I was also reviewing the V Cosmetics Midsummer's Moons palette, which I also been able to use 1 time each shade, so that's another 1 point for the No Pen Left Behind. Then another palette that I've been focusing on is my Beauty Below by Blend Bunny that I've been also reviewing, and I was able to use every single shade at least once. So that's another 1 point. Don't mind the fact that there's 2 different shades because I kind of played with this palette a little bit. I'm currently playing with it and changing it up, but that's 1 point. The next point is for the last palette in this collection that I've been reviewing, and that is the Fairy Tale Europe by Nomad Cosmetics. And again, I've been able to use all of the shade at least once for my initial review, so that's another 1 point. And then the last palette that I have here is my Build Your Own palette for spring that I've built at the end of February, and in March I filmed my 3 looks with this palette. So I used every single shade once, and since it's my own like build palette, I'm still gonna count it as No Pen Left Behind because like it is a made-up palette, but it is a palette and I've used every single shade at least once. The most used shade is this one because it was also my Pendos Eyeshadows shade. So in total for the No Pen Left Behind, we're getting 6 points. Then for hitting a pan, I've been able to hit pan in 4 shades. So first we have in my Oden's Eye Somano 2 palette, which is my project pan palette for this year. I've been able to hit a pan in the shade Neptune. In case you want more info, check out my latest update for my Pendos eyeshadows and you're gonna get all the info. But this is the shade Neptune, and as you can see there's a shiny pan, so that's 5 points. Then next one is in my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, which was also my Pendos eyeshadows shade, and it's my Panda palette for this year. And for the Pendos eyeshadows, it picked the shade Cosmic, which is the central shade. Again, there's a shiny, beautiful pan. And so we're getting another 5 points. Then also very randomly, I was able to hit a pan in my Deep Potted shadow from the Christmas Eve palette by Oden's Eye, and it's the shade Softly, which I've been using as a brow shade lately. I think I've used it like, I don't know, 20 times as a brow shade, maybe more. And as you can see, it has a pan, so, and it actually has quite a large pan. And this didn't have a pan prior to me depotting it, because there are a couple shades depotted that technically now don't have a pan, but since they had a pan in its original packaging, I count them as a panned shades. And if they were to be picked for like Pendos eyeshadows or anything, the rule would be to use them up completely. Since they've already had a pan, it's just now it's kind of covered. So that's another 5 points. And then the last 5 points for my panned eyeshadows is the shade Neverland from Tinkerbell palette by Colourpop, which I have in the Spring Build Your Own palette. And this one, as you can see, has quite a large pan, so that also happened in March, and that's another 5 points, meaning that we were able to get 20 points for hitting pans. I wasn't able to finish any eyeshadows, though I hope in April it might happen, because I have one shade that is like very close to that. Or do I have more than one? Well, technically I could work on one more, but that one also kind of shattered, so most of the uses would be from shattering. But am I gonna be maybe I'm gonna count it if I'm gonna use it up completely. But then you can also get 1 point for 10 times using an eyeshadow. So I have in my notebook, I've written down all of my shades in my collection and how much uses were there at the beginning of the year. So all I have to do is just check if the number changed and how much we were able to add. There are a couple of shades that are in the project that are in the 10 uses category, but they're kind of getting close to 25 uses. So maybe in the next update or the one after it, I'm gonna be able to count more points. But one of them that already has more than 10 uses, it's actually getting pretty close to 25 uses, is the shade Think from my Tinkerbell palette from Colourpop. And this one, as you can see, is one of those shades that could be used up soon. So maybe we're gonna get, I hope we're gonna get to the 25 uses and then using it up so that I can get two, so that I can have points in 2 categories, which would be wonderful. But yeah, this one pretty far with the usage number. Then, so that's 1 point. Then next one is the shade Neverland, because also that one is been used more than 10 times. So that one is another point. Then we have from the Laguna palette by Glam Shop. I've been able to use the shade Coralloviets 10 times since the beginning of the year, so that's another point. And when I was talking about one of the shades that would be like super easy to like completely use up because it's shattered, it's the Precious Leaf, which I only have like very little over here. I don't know even if you can see that. I don't know if I'm gonna be cheeky enough to count it eventually, but maybe. So that's another. Then we have the Silvery Dream shade from Christmas Eve from Odin's Eye, and the Silvery Dream, where do I have it? Oh yeah, I have it in this Franken shade, which is Frankening the Silvery Dream, and the shade Lucid, which is from She Glam, and it's a highlighter. So that one I have been able to use 10 times since the beginning of the year. Actually, maybe show you a little bit of a closer look. So that one. And then we're getting 1 point for the shade Softly, which it's actually like, I think it has 23 uses now since the beginning of the year. So yeah, like next update we're gonna get 2 points from this. And 1 more for my current Pendos eyeshadows, which I haven't been able to hit pan, but I'm getting very soon because the dip is actually inside, is the Crypt shade from my Halloween palette by Shroud. So this one also, I think it's like 15 uses now, like I'm getting pretty close. And that's kind of all the added points. I was kind of thinking, because I also do, one of my projects that I'm working on is Project 20 Uses, where I pick 5 palettes and I have to use them 20 times before I can change it up and roll another palette. And I feel like for that I could also get a point, because I feel like that's also like a really good way of using your eyeshadows. So that's another addition to the rules, and I was actually able to hit 20 uses on the Laguna palette. So for all of my palettes that I'm gonna be able to hit 20 uses on, I'm gonna add 1 point for that. So we're also getting 1 point for the Laguna, 1 point for the Christmas Eve palette that I've been focusing on. And that's everything right now. Though my Christmas, my Merry Christmas palette is getting very close. I think it's like 18 uses since the beginning of the year. So, you know, we're getting close, but we're not there yet. So that's for my plus points, which means that we were able to gain 34 points. and we lost 270 points, which means that we're currently in the negative 236 points, and we're going into April with negative 236 points, which I know is a lot, but I think most of the year I'm gonna be either in negative or towards the like bottom, towards like a 0. I don't think it's gonna get much better, but I hope I'm gonna hit a couple pans this month. I hope at least like 4 pans, and I would be very happy if I was able to use up the shit Tinkerbell, which would give me a couple more points. And I'm gonna have couple I think I'm gonna be able to hit 20 uses on 2 of my palettes. I'm gonna try to no pen left behind a couple palettes, and I'm currently working on a project which is called Eyeshadow Palette Crush of the Month, which means that I have to use a eyeshadow palette for an entire month, at least. I have to use at least one shade every single day for a month from that palette, and currently it's my Delicious Delight. And I think a rule for that will be I'm gonna gain 2 points every single month. I'm gonna be able to actually hit that goal, because I think I'm gonna be updating my palette crush of the month 2 days before, or 3 days before my update for my eyeshadow bank, so I should have the numbers. So if I'm gonna be able to do that, I'm gonna award myself with 2 points. Because again, I think that like using a palette 30 times is a nice feat. So that's for that. We'll see what I'm gonna be purchasing in April and how the numbers will change, but hopefully we'll get to a little bit more of a nicer number. Like I would like to be somewhere in the 0 to negative 100, hopefully by the end of the year. Like that would be my goal that I hope for. And I don't know if I mentioned that, but if I'm gonna completely use up a palette, even if it was like almost used up when this year started, I'm gonna award myself 10 points per each pan. I'm not completely sure if that's how the original rule is like or not. I can't remember. But if I'm gonna be able to like finish up a palette completely, every single pan will be 10 points. So that I can kind of swap it for another palette if I want to. So that's just to let you know what the rules are. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with palettes that have like over 50 to over 100 uses. I might have to figure that out for next update, but since we're awarding 1 point for Project 20 uses and 2 points for Palette Crush of the Month, which is 31 or 30 uses, I think if I'm gonna reach 50 uses in a palette, I'm gonna award myself 3 points. And for using a palette 100 times, I'm gonna award myself 4 points. Because I think that's also like something that's really hard for me to do since I have so many palettes and I use so many products. So yeah. So for 50 uses, we'll get 3 points, and 100 uses will be 4 points. That's kind of my additions. I don't think I'm gonna change much. We'll see when I'm actually gonna like fully understand this project, and I will kind of find my way with this project. But this is kind of what I'm working with for the next, hopefully, a year. Let me know what you think about this project. Let me know if you are part of this project, or if you would like to try something like this. And how are you doing right now? Like, what's your current point count? let me know down below. I would be very happy to know that and hear that. And with that being said, have a wonderful day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So, bye!